Hey everybody, welcome to Book Review Thursday. Today we are talking about my favorite book, besides mine, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. 2015, let me just tell you how I stumbled onto Grant Cardone. 2015 December, I had traveled home for Christmas to West Virginia to visit and spend time with family. So get to West Virginia, I'm looking for online for Zig Ziglar videos. Come across Grant Cardone, one of his videos, and I thought, wow, this guy's really got something going. And so started researching, started watching Grant's videos, started doing those things. One of the biggest videos that actually changed my life, one of them he was talking about said, commit first, figure the rest out later. Now that sounds stupid to me, at least it did, because how can you commit to somebody that you're going to do something and have no idea how you're going to do it? That same time period, I'm there. My dad said, hey, come help me. Let's take a ride. We got to go deliver some furniture to a guy that I work with. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so we're riding down the road. We leave West Virginia, go down to Kentucky, where we look like a bunch of hillbillies with couches and all kinds of crap hanging out the back of his truck. And we go down to Kentucky, and I get a phone call. A gentleman wants to publish a hardback book, 750 pages. They want 500 copies. And so I'm thinking 500 copies, that's a lot of money. He says, do you guys print hardback books? And my answer was absolutely. Knowing in my mind the whole time, I'm like, we don't print hardback books. And so the thing that kept running through my mind was commit first, figure the rest out later. And I told him, I says, that's going to be a lot of money, and I told him, I says, I'll have to get you a quote and get back with you on a price. Ended up getting back with him, told him it was going to, done some research, found a printer, actually over in China, which that was a nightmare. Found a printer over in China, said it was going to cost me $12,000, right at $11,000. And this was my first hardback book, and I thought, man, I can't afford to screw this up or charge somebody a ton. I was just had all kinds of thoughts going through my mind. Ended up coming to the guys, telling them, say, we've got, it's going to cost you $12,000. They said, really? They said, that's cheap. And I thought, okay, good deal. And so we ended up going through this process. I had everything lined up, had the printer lined up, everything was ready to go. And I started thinking, this printer's in China. And I hope that price included shipping, because if not, I'm going to have to come up with money for shipping across the ocean. Contacted the printer. They're like, no, that doesn't include shipping. And then at that point, they didn't want to help me with shipping. They said I had to find somebody that would come pick it up and then bring it to me. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So anyway, they ended up giving me a price for $1,500 for shipping on top of the $12,000. And I'm like, I'm going in the hole on this deal. So anyway, to make that long story short, ended up finding a printer here in the U.S., saved a ton of money on the print by actually doing it here in the U.S., and made some killer profit on that deal. Had I not read the 10X rule, at that point I had not read the 10X rule, but at that point I had just watched Grant's videos about commit first, figure the rest out later, and that's what I did. After that, that's when I went that same trip in December of 2015, that same trip to West Virginia, went over to the mall in Huntington, picked up a copy. They had a copy of Grant's book at the Borders. I think it was called Borders at the time, and now it's Books A Million. It may have still been Books A Million, but it may have been, I don't know. Anyway, picked up a copy of the book, read the book. Since 2015, my business has grown substantially from what it was at the time. Phenomenal. I've devoured everything of Grant's since then. I've watched, I believe, every video that he has on YouTube. Sell or Be Sold, The Closer's Guide, 10X Rule, Be Obsessed or Be Average. A lot of the seminars, a lot of the stuff that's online. I've got my 10X 10x rule on my wrist, carry it with me everywhere I go. And then, of course, Whosoever Press, you know my company, and that says success isn't free. So my reminders. But 10x, man, it was so simple of a concept. Just multiply what you're doing 10 times. If you're making 10 phone calls, do 100. If you're writing one article a day, write 10. Just that concept. If you want more, you have to produce more. If you want more results, you have to do more work. And then later on, the guys, 10x rule, Grant Cardone, phenomenal. Now, which you can see behind me, I'm on the laptop, so I really can't walk you around the office here, but we're actually in our new office, and I have to credit the majority of this success to Grant Cardone and his book, The 10x Rule. Man, Grant, keep popping out the videos, keep popping out YouTube videos, keep popping all this stuff out, and at some point, hopefully real soon, I plan on being with you guys at the 10x Growth Con. Awesome. That's all I can say. Awesome. Thank you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this review on the 10x rule. Didn't really tell you too much about the book, inside the book, other than my success story, because I know you're going to want to read this book. If I could literally go, and this is one thing I didn't tell you, which I think is probably pretty important. After picking up this book, reading this book in December of 2015, I quit my job, my day job of 8 years, 3 months later. So it's a pretty good book. Y'all might want to read it.